6th Street here in Manhattan. Eric is are you still the evangelist, social media evangelist?
Web developer and community evangelist, yeah.
Okay, so with Clipmarks, we're talking about the election and the campaign. But how do you see, first let's define social media. All media is inherently social. So what is it about social media, web-based media, that makes it unique?
So social media to me is really media that's filtered through my friends. So friends can be however I define it. I have a wider net of friends on the internet. But when media comes through them, when news comes through them, I hear it more clearly somehow.
So it's the filter?
In large sense, the filter and the amplification. My friends often bring stuff to my attention that I wouldn't have known about.
Now, is it inherently the medium? I mean, radio, you can use your social graph to, let's say, Rush Limbaugh listeners. Their social graph would be tied to or based around Rush Limbaugh or similar beliefs, but that's radio. Is there anything particular about the internet that makes it unique or makes social media, or is specifically tied to social media?
Absolutely. It's the unlimited channels. It's the fact that you can have a podcast and I can have a podcast and we can all broadcast, and whoever centers around us become that social graph. So the message has more ability to go between little pockets and less from one radiated source.
What are some of the limitations of social media?
It's harder to get a big radiating source in that same way. A lot of messages have to bounce many times to get the same propulsion that they would otherwise.
Now, because we're talking about the elections today, we're coming up on one of the most unique election cycles in history. One, because it's the most open election since 1952, but two, because of the tools that are available to us. In 2004, there was blogging and podcasting. I'm sure you remember Anna Marie Cox and the whole Wonkette thing. But this is probably the first election where we've had all of these different tools. As opposed to just RSS feeds, now it is popular to enclose audio and video and text and picture and video within RSS feeds. How do you see social media impacting the election?
I think the candidates are seeing more opportunities to communicate directly. They're using YouTube, they're using Twitter, they're using other tools like that to really get their message out in a more direct way, and a lot of times more in depth than they can in a stump speech. So I've felt more connected to many of the candidates and their views than I have in previous years.
How is the media using social media tools? You know, we hear about this, the CNN or the Facebook, YouTube debates, ABC debates. Are these just cross-branding opportunities, or have they added to the dialogue?
I think some big media places have done it well. I love CNN's breaking news Twitter account. They give me just the breaking stuff. It's right there in my feed, within my social network. It radiates out quickly. A lot of them I've been disappointed in their ability to bring real people out to the forefront and talk as humans. Instead, they just kind of give us a repackaged feed.
Right. One of the things that I've noticed, particularly with the candidates, is a lot of the time they will do, just like you said, they will push media out, which is just like traditional media does. Radio pushes it out, but it doesn't utilize what the web does, which is push and pull. You can take information from it and have, like on Twitter, you can have a dialogue, and that is oftentimes the most important part of using something like Twitter. What could the candidates and the media do to more efficiently capture the various forms of social media tools that we have?
Well, I think in the same way where you would never go to a town, just give a speech and disappear. Like, you give a speech and then you go down and you press the flesh and you actually meet people. I think there's very little flesh pressing, to coin a phrase, going on within social media. I think that the candidates can really meet individual people who will then get their message out for them through these tools so easily, and they're neglecting that opportunity.
So what social media tools do you see being effective? Obviously with Clipmarks, you can take the news and kind of make it your own. What social media tools are poised well to break out this year? I mean, obviously some already have YouTube, Facebook, because you can pump information into it, but what tools are there that people don't already know about that could be effectively used?
I think Twitter is just paramount among them for me, getting in there and actually talking with people and letting them spread your message. I think Ning is very interesting for helping candidates build their own social network and then let people gravitate around them or around a specific issue. So these sort of mini social networks cropping up.
Now, how is, or will Clipmarks be utilizing the election? Will they be involved in it at all? what aspects of clip marks will be most important during this election cycle?
So I can't say too much just because we don't necessarily know right now. We're talking about that actually today, about how we can take this idea of clipping something out of the news and then talking about it on your own. So you take something out of this sort of lens that the corporate media gives it, pull it out and say, this is what's important about this. This is my feelings about it. Let's discuss. So enabling discussion about specific pieces of news, I think that's going to be really important for us and for news as we go forward.
All right, great.